Want to bring to life what you only dream about? Then you've tuned into the right podcast. This is Keep Blooming, and I'm your host, Liz Montigny. Tune in as I encourage you to drop the hustle mentality for hope and act on the dreams God has put on your heart. Like you, I'm doing all the things as a Catholic, a wife, a mom to 3 boys, and a trained coach. Let's get growing and keep blooming. Hello, and welcome to the Keep Blooming podcast. I'm your host, Liz Montigny. I know it seems a little ironic to record a podcast on silence, but here I am doing just that. It's something I've been sitting with for quite some time, and it's been cultivating it and frankly enjoying it. So I wanted to share with you some words that I shared as a contributing writer for Catholic Women in Business. So before we launch into that, I like to start things off with a little Lectio Divina so we can root ourselves in the truth. Today's selection is Luke chapter 2, verse 19. But Mary treasured all these words and pondered them in her heart. There is so much packed into that one verse. And if you recall, this actually comes when the shepherds visit the Holy Family in the grotto, the cave where Jesus is born. And, they come and they say, angels sent us. And, just that word treasured, there's that word is so important. It's not just thought about. It's not, there has some weight to it, right? If you're treasuring something, it's just you're grateful, you're thankful, so many things. And there's that word pondered. I imagine Mary, Our Lady, did so much pondering in her life. And to ponder really means to practice silence, to be quiet, because you can't ponder if you're constantly busy or talking. It's just not, they don't go together. All right, so we'll come back to that at the end. But yeah, let's talk about how silence can bring you clarity, peace of mind, and creativity. And of course, Our Lady, Mary, is our mentor to practice this silence. So I think one of the most powerful tools Satan uses against us and against women especially is noise, right? This world is just buzzing with constant distractions, right? Notifications on your phone, your computer, conversations, scrolling, the overbooked schedules. And the louder things are, the harder it is to receive and accept God's invitations. And we as women are built physically to receive, but also I think our hearts are just deeper and more open because of that. And silence is just, it's rare now, right? Talking about treasure, right, in the scripture passage. I mean, this is something we really need to treasure. It's high value in our personal life and professions. So if you are looking for deeper clarity, that peace of mind and heart, and just authentic inspiration and creativity, silence is a powerful practice that can open you up to receiving the desires of your heart. So let's take a moment to ponder, there's that word again, how the countercultural practice of silence can help you recognize that thrill of hope that is Advent. And it's just something we should always be expecting the Lord. And we can do that with silence because that's how we hear him. So how often do you find yourself in a moment of silence throughout your day? I would really encourage you to give yourself a silence audit. You'd be surprised. Practicing silence, even just for a few minutes each day, can help you reconnect with God, with others, your family and friends, coworkers, and yourself, right? And here's why it matters. Silence really cultivates clarity, right? That's something that so many of my clients are looking for. So when you're constantly engaged with people or screens, your mind is always working. Making space for silence gives you a mental and physical break so you can step back, relax, and unplug. This mental reset allows you to clear cluttered thoughts for better decision making. A great example of this is St. Joseph, right? He silently received, like he was like first place in that. So in scripture, St. Joseph is silent, but his actions speak. He always stepped out in faith based on what he received. One simple tool to clear your mental clutter and quiet your thoughts is a brain dump. I love this. Put your brain onto paper, especially before bed. Try writing a list of whatever is on your mind, read it over, and then when you wake up, review that list again. And then just to keep things simple, pick a priority for your day. If it's really hard to pick one, don't pick more than three. And I almost guarantee you your day will go so much better. Silence has a calming effect on your mind, body, and soul. And here's where that peace comes in. So whether it's through prayer, a quiet morning coffee, or just a few deep breaths, you can help reduce your stress levels. There have been so many reports on this, right? You could just do an internet search and find it. But creating simple, peaceful moments deepens your attentiveness to God and to others because you become unhurried. Peace places you in the present moment, which is where God is always asking us to be. And this increases your gratitude for the beauty and simplicity of what and who is around you, as well as the recognition of God's graces in your life. So we've all been in situations where we feel we're constantly repeating ourselves, yet still not being heard or not getting anywhere. More talking doesn't always produce an answer. Stepping back into silence allows ideas to rest, you to receive perspective, and curiosity to step in. Silence relieves you of the pressure of an immediate response and enables creativity to grow naturally. Booking white space or thought time on your calendar creates a calmer home or workspace and helps spark your best ideas. So I definitely encourage you to make an appointment with yourself. Silence also inspires creativity. It's an invitation to turn inward and receive, making you more aware of the life God is calling you to live. When you take time for self-reflection and adoration, or through journaling, a retreat, or a solo coffee date, you can clearly see if your actions align with your desires, goals, and vocation. Self-reflection inspires you to be your authentic self and to do what comes naturally to you through the gifts God has given you. You become open to receiving His will for your life and allowing yourself to be His instrument. A simple and powerful way to inspire your creativity and boost your problem-solving skills is to spend time in adoration and brainstorm with your Creator. I have to tell you, I have gotten some of my best ideas and written some of my best articles in adoration. By practicing silence, you become a receptor of greater clarity, peaceful schedules and relationships, and of course, creativity. Now, who but Mary is our mentor for this? She is our model for silence. In scripture, Our Lady doesn't say much, but when she does, miracles happen. I mean, there's her fiat, which we're preparing for right now, Christmas, right? And the wedding at Cana. These are just a few. Have you ever pondered her silence at the foot of the cross? All she could do was receive the brokenness of her son's body, as well as the brokenness of all of us, her spiritual children. What about her time during the early church? Have you ever thought about this? I picture her in her own silent cloister in Ephesus, pouring out prayers to support the apostles. In Our Lady's silence, she became a contemplative of the cross. Like she did for Jesus on Good Friday, she remained on earth, standing in prayer for the early church. It was the Father's will for her earthly life that she remain hidden and silent, supporting the present and future church and all of us, her spiritual children. That was her silent fiat. How can you model Our Lady's silent fiat? By designating a place to pray. I know I helped a client do this. It was life-changing. Praying during your commute or lunch break. I always pray the rosary for each of my family members on my commute. Praying for attendees before an important meeting or a retreat. I always do this and invite my retreatants to do the same. Speaking only when necessary at home. Ooh, boy, that is a tough one. I know that's a hard one for me, especially when I'm going back and forth with my husband on something. Ooh, we always want to be right, right? Putting down your phone when you spend time with your family. Kids are really good at this, right? Even just picking it up to read an article, and then, the kiddos are like, hey, put your phone down, right? Remind yourself that your goal is to be a saint in heaven, not to store up earthly things. That's a great one to ponder. Start with one simple step to practice silence so that you can receive your invitation from our Father for his will for your life. To be under the mentorship of Mary is to practice silence and be receptive to God's will. Under her mentorship, she points us to her Son, and Jesus guides us to our eternal home with our Father in heaven. All right, let's go back to our scripture passage and just see if that hits any differently. So Luke 2, verse 19. But Mary treasured all these words and pondered them in her heart. There's so much packed in there. I wonder if you try writing that verse out for yourself and just meditating on it for a while. That's where silence is, right? And just letting the Lord guide you, whether it's through Lectio Divina, journaling, whatever it may be. All right, my friends, let's get growing and keep blooming. Thank you for joining me for this episode of Keep Blooming. I share new content monthly. To be the first to know about my upcoming retreats and latest offerings, become an email subscriber at lizmontignycoaching.com. Have a great day, and remember to keep blooming.